Here's our audience. All right. 4 score and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Today I will be telling you a little bit about the history and legacy of Abraham Lincoln. I have visited many monuments for Abraham Lincoln, and I would like to share a little bit of that knowledge with you today. Abraham Lincoln is an important historical figure for America, and his legacy lives on even today. First, I will tell you a little bit about Abraham Lincoln's personal history. Then I will tell you his important role in the history of the United States. And then I will explain how his presence and legacy lives on today. Abraham Lincoln led a seemingly ordinary life until he became someone extraordinary. According to the official White House website, Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky in 1809. He moved from Kentucky to Indiana to Illinois throughout his young life, and he worked many different jobs. He worked for his father's farm, he worked on railroads, and he worked a store until he decided what he really wanted to do was go to law school. Then in 1860, he won the presidential nomination and founded the Republican Party. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and according to the National Archives and Records Administration, this established the freedom for slaves. Abraham Lincoln is important to American history because he founded the Republican Party. He was according to the White House official website, he was the very first Republican president, and he was the reason the party was founded in the first place and why it gained power. According to the Tarrant County Republican Party, he denounced a law in 1854 that would have made slavery expand into the West. And so that is one of the founding features of the Republican Party. Another reason why Abraham Lincoln is important to the history of America is that he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. According to the National Archives and Records Administration, this established the freedom of slaves, but it didn't quite yet immediately let them be free. So what this did was it sparked the Civil War, and the freedom of slaves was contingent on the Union side winning. The legacy of Abraham Lincoln lives on in many different ways. We see him on the $5 bill and the penny, but his legacy also lives on through memorials and historic sites across the country. The most famous of these sites is the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. According to the National Park Services, the Lincoln Memorial took 8 years to build and was finished by 1922. The memorial features a statue of Abraham Lincoln centered in a temple-like structure and in front of a large reflecting pool. A lesser-known historic site for Abraham Lincoln is in Knob Creek, Kentucky, which is his birthplace and where his boyhood home is located. So if you visit Knob Creek, you can actually see where his boyhood home was located, and they have a birthplace memorial for him too. According to the National Park Service, Abraham Lincoln's earliest memories were in Knob Creek. In conclusion, Abraham Lincoln led an ordinary life until he became an extraordinary person. He is important for American history because he founded the Republican Party and he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. His legacy lives on in many different ways, including in memorial and historic sites. Abraham Lincoln is a household name, and he will long be remembered for his actions as president. I hope you learned something new today and that you are inspired to continue learning about our country. Here's my audience, one of them, and then here are the other 4. Thank you for watching.